Land's End to John Groats. Why not John Groats to Land's End?
Well, there's the jog or there's joggle. You can do one way or the other. I always loved animals, so it just seemed a no-brainer really that you were one of the guys I was going to give to. Wow. And it was a long, very steep hill, bit twisty, and I hit 47.5 miles an hour going down this hill. And I was sort of looking at it and oh, that's pretty fast. That looks like a tight bend.
Right, everybody, this is a very special occasion. We've invited Dave along here, Dave Evans. He's done a marvellous thing for Lower Moss Wood. He's been on a cycle ride, and a lot of you seen the publishing that we've done on the Facebook page and on the internet. But Dave's coming to tell you all about it, all the things, how he prepared to do it, and things like what was his most challenging part and why did he do it. And that's the thing that always gets me, because Lower Moss Wood is guided by nice people. When we need something, nice people come along, and you came along, Dave, so I'll shake your hand on that one. So, what made you do it?
Well, the Land's End to John Groats challenge is something that a lot of people want to do, people that like to challenge themselves. And as a cyclist in the sort of world of cycling and walking and everything else, but in the world of cycling, the Land's End to John Groats is probably one of the most extreme things that a cyclist can do. I mean, there's obviously cycling around the entire coast of Britain, which is just psychopathic, but that's almost 6,000 miles if you do the entire thing. Wow. But no, it was just something I'd always had in my head that at one point in time I wanted to do Land's End to John Groats.
Yeah.
And being the sort of person I am, it wasn't just going to be I'm going to pay somebody, one of these groups, that you ride your nice lightweight bike and they take all your gear and they provide the overnights and the food and everything. No, I was going to do it totally by myself. So I was going to do it on a bike, carrying camping gear, and just all my cooking gear, spare clothes, and just get there by myself, set off by myself, have nobody around, nobody along the journey to see at any point, and just make me way from bottom to top and back again.
I wasn't aware you could have a cycling package holiday.
Yeah, you can. There's plenty of companies out there where they take all your gear, they'll ship you all the way down to Land's End, and then they have a support vehicle that provide food stops along the route, and it's either set up camping at night or there's B&Bs provided along the route.
Did you wild camp a lot?
I wild camped a few times. In fact, there was only 2 campsites I actually used. The first night I was actually in a farmer's field somewhere in Cornwall. Couldn't tell you exactly where. It was just that'll do, there's a hedge, nobody will see me, set up the tent.
So you get off my land.
Get off my land. But yeah, no, it was basically, you couldn't be seen by anybody, so it was just, the rule with wild camping is, arrive late, leave early, leave no trace except flattened grass.
Yeah. Yeah, time, lift it up.
Time to lift it. I can comb it up with my fingers. But.
Yeah. So the thing is, what always gets me is Land's End to John Groats. Why not John Groats to Land's End?
Well, there's the jog or there's joggle. You can do one way or the other.
Well, isn't it better to go to Land's End?
The more uneducated think you're going downhill. But no, people do it one way and then go, well, I've done it that way, I'll do it the other way now. And
so you're doing it next year
then? Not next year, no. But there's people that will they may start in Land's End because they live near a John Groats and it's easier to get home, or they may do it the other way around. The concession on Land's End to John Groats is that in the UK, the prevailing winds are normally southwesterlies.
Right.
So it makes it
It's a science behind it all.
There is a science behind it. So you will, and it's not always, but you will tend to get wind behind you more often on a Land's End to John Groats than you would on a John Groats to Land's End.
Right. Well, I'm well aware that you've done it to sort of raise money for ourselves and St Luke's Hospice.
Yep.
And that was pleasing for me also, because St Luke's Hospice was my mother's favourite charity.
Right.
And every time she did a charity do for me, she'd do one for them next. And so that was quite nice when he told me that. But what was it made you decide to choose us?
Well, Lower Moss Wood is something I've known about for an awful long time. I can't remember how long ago it was. I got a bird injured in the garden. It was a collared dove. It broke its wing. I think it was jumped on by a peregrine, which I used to get, not peregrine, sorry, a sparrowhawk, which I used to get quite often in the garden. So I got this collared dove, asked around as to how I could get it mended again, and your name come up. So I brought you up here, met yourself then, back in the day, and never sort of looked back. And I'd been up here 2 or 3 times in the past. I'd sort of been a subscriber to give money every month to the charity, because wildlife is something that's pretty close to my heart, and I've always loved animals. So it just seemed a no-brainer really that you were one of the guys I was going to give to.
Well, we really do appreciate it. It's,
no problem.
give us a buzz as well as you giving yourself a buzz. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice to actually raise, you know, to use an event like that is something that, you know, I always say it's not kids walking around the football field to raise money to buy a football kit. It's somebody that people see doing something that is super extreme, that even your average cyclist couldn't see themselves doing.
Yeah.
You know, when they see you doing it day after day after day, you get people that really, it resonates with them as to what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, and as you've seen, I met a lot of people along the route who I'd never met before, who were giving me cash in the hand, or, you know,
yeah.
And a donation would appear on Just Giving to whichever charity was closer to their heart.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty good.
Have you closed your pages now?
No, the page is still open.
So, viewers, tell them
Still
the
donate.
page.
But no, I've left the pages open because I've seen the guys at St. Luke's. You know, they did a short video on it, so that's gone out. I know you guys were doing this, so I was going to wait till it went out and then leave it until for another couple of weeks.
Okay,
see
that's
if we
brilliant.
get any sort of last minute donations coming in.
Yeah.
And then I close it down and see what the final figure is. But you know, I know we discussed it right at the beginning that you can't actually link things on Just Giving so it divides the money. But the really nice thing is it's almost equal.
Yeah.
What has gone to each charity is almost equal at the end of the day, which is really good. You know,
Right.
you know, I'm the sort of person that likes everybody to. I didn't want one to get more than the other, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, I know all charities need the money, but it's nice that if you're doing it for
If
two,
we'd have got most, we'd have
spread
give some back.
Yeah, of course you would.
No, seriously, it's really good. Thank you very much for that.
No problem whatsoever.
So you got another challenge in mind?
There's nothing in mind at this point. I mean, I was always getting asked, especially by Hazel, you know, what are you going to do next year? What's the next challenge? Or as soon as I finish this one, what's next on the cards?
Well, you've done length and breadth. Why don't you do it up?
Well, I haven't done a cross yet,
Right.
so I was thinking of doing that just as a personal cycling thing that you could always raise money for as well. But it took a lot of preparation. You know, Land's End to John O'Groats isn't something you can just jump in unless you're paying a company.
Yeah.
Now I've spent the last 12 months buying things and preparing and looking at routes and working out routes and sat in front of a computer for hours, joining lines up, you know, to see where I was going to go, to see where I could stay. And then obviously I had to sort out the hotels along the route because I was doing 2 nights wild camping and then a night in a hotel, so I could charge power packs, get a shower, wash the gear that I had with me.
I know what you mean about buying gear, because I was going to go on a big tour of Britain on my motorbike, and I bought a tent. It cost me £400. It's only a tiny tent, but it's a proper motorbike tent. And it's still in the wrappers.
Well, you know, doing it on a bike, it's things have to be lightweight.
Yeah.
You know, not like on our motorbikes where it doesn't really matter if it weighs a bit more because the bike takes the strain.
No.
But things have to be lightweight. You know, I spent like 24 quid on a travel pillow that weighed 60 grams inflatable pillow.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do is not get a good night's sleep. That is the absolute worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you can be wet in the day, you can go off in damp clothes, but none of these things compare to not getting a good rest at night.
Yeah.
So you have to ensure that, you know, you've got a decent tent with some room in it so you can sit up if it's raining.
Yeah.
You can get a good night's sleep, you have a decent
I can
sleeping
imagine you
bag.
in the Lake District lying there at 4 o'clock in the morning going, shut up!
Well, unfortunately, as I passed through the Lake District, I was aiming to pick up some food and provisions in Kendal, then head out to Kendal towards Shap. But head out towards Shap and then sort of find somewhere to camp. And I was always thinking, you know, there isn't going to be many fields here where there isn't any sheep. But unfortunately, when I was, all that day as I was approaching Kendal, because I went from Wigan to Kendal, and I was checking the weather all the day, and it just kept saying that all evening from sort of early evening it's going to be torrential rain and thunderstorms. So that was one of the evenings where I had to bite the bullet and pay for a hotel again.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't worth sitting in a little tiny tent.
How was the weather over the whole fortnight?
It was generally pretty good. I mean, the first day I had some torrential rain. You know, I was going up a hill out of a little town called Wadebridge, which is near Padstow in Cornwall, and the rain was ridiculously heavy. And I was going up this relatively steep hill, and there was actually a bow wave off the front wheel of my bike. The rain was that hard. And there was a roadside cafe further on, like a porter cabin type cafe. And when I got there was a couple sat there, and I went to the window, and the lady said to me, "Hello, Mr. Drowned as a rat cyclist." So it was, "Hello, I'd like a hot coffee, please." But no, it was torrential. But look, you know, I had the right gear with me, and it wasn't freezing.
And you were lucky you had no mechanical incidents.
I had no mechanical incidents
no
whatsoever. But you know, as a mechanical engineer, I think if I hadn't sorted my bike properly, people would have been saying something.
Yeah, I can't go Duncow without getting a puncture.
But no, I had zero punches. But you know, I'd sorted, like I said, I'd sorted the bike out. Everything went well. I even took spare brake pads with me because, you know, I had everything with me that I could have needed, but didn't need anything at the end of the day. I mean, I don't use brakes much, to be honest. Going downhill, you know, on a bike that weighed 32 kilos, I remember heading down into Berrydale, and it was a long, very steep hill, a bit twisty, and I hit 47.5 mile an hour going down this hill. And I was sort of looking at that and thinking, oh, that's pretty fast. That looks like a tight bend. So I had to use the brakes there, but no, I didn't. I was very lucky.
Yeah.
In respect, you know, you see a lot of people that, you know, having to fix punches at the side of the road, having mechanicals. I met a guy and two ladies from Belgium.
Yeah.
And I was up very north of Scotland, and these guys were coming in the opposite direction, and stopped him. "Hello, how are you doing?" Yeah, I had a quick conversation. Said he was from Belgium, and his bike had broken. The top of the bike completely snapped away, so the top tube had snapped away from the seat tube. But luckily, he'd been able to call it a garage, and between them, they fixed it with Jubilee clips and gaffer tape. So you know, they got it sorted, and so I had no mechanicals like that whatsoever. And strangely, met these guys again when we were in Inverness, when they were at the end of their journey, just about to get the train back. So we caught up with them again. But you see a lot of people that have, you know, for minor issues, punches, brakes. But all I had to do was adjust my brake cable, and that was it. And you expect to do that as well, you know, as your brake pads wear down anyway.
Anyway, Dave, we'll bring this lovely talk to an end, because it's been absolutely fantastic for us.
No problem.
And I want to hear your story about approaching Land's End, your emotional bit.
Well, John the Groats.
John the Groats.
I wasn't going back there. Yeah, but it was a funny day, because the last day was a really tough day. There was some big hills in the last day, and I had to go climb onto the moors, which are so remote it was unreal. You know, there was a road that just disappeared arrow straight into the distance. So it's going across these moors, and that was to go across and then drop down to the coast at the very top, and then the last couple of miles towards John the Groats. And every so often I'd be looking at my Garmin thinking I've got, you know, X amount of miles to go, and I was sort of counting them down. I was like, in my head it was, you know, I'm 12 miles away. 12 miles is from home to such a place, and then 6 miles, that's from home to Northwich, and then 3 miles. And I'm thinking, well, 3 miles is nothing. I could run the last 3 miles, you know. And every so often I'd just well up, and I go, stop it, you're not even there yet, you know, but you're gonna make it. And then I saw in the distance, because I knew what it looked like, all the buildings at John the Groats. I'm nearly there. It's only there. It's just I can see it. You know, I'm going along, and you sort of go to this junction, turn left, and drop down, and I just welled up, and I had tears running down my face. Yeah. And I'd rang Hazel because I wanted her to know, because the live track was cutting in and out for some reason. Sometimes it'd work and sometimes it wouldn't. So I think it was on. I managed to actually get on FaceTime. So I had it on my phone on FaceTime looking at it. I'm like, look, there it is. I could hardly see it. Tears running down my face. I could hardly see it. And as I got there was lots of people there, as there always is. I just sort of collapsed crying on my bike for a bit that I'd actually made it. And then
I'm getting emotional now.
But it was really nice that all these people that were there that just turned up in a car or whatever they'd done, just sort of moved out the way of the post, and the guy said, just come on, give us your phone, I'll take all your photos for you. And so I sort of hugged my bike and I hugged the hugged the post. It was like, I'm here, I've got it,
Can you see my eyes glazing over?
And it was just such an emotional feeling, and then it was it was overwhelming that I'd actually made it. And I've done 900 miles day after day after day. Like you say, the mental bit, I'd say only 40% of it is the actual physical fitness. Because you get that as you're going along, strangely, and after the first 4 to 5 days, you're there. Yes, your legs are absolutely shattered. You get on the bike every morning, you can feel your legs are battered. But after a few miles, you're fine and you just keep going. You just have to tailor your speed to suit. But the rest of it is mental. It really is a mental challenge to be getting up at your alarm's set for 6 o'clock every day. You're going to sleep about 9 o'clock in the evening when you're in your tent and what have you. You're making sure you're getting in bed. You're getting up at 6. The first thing you do, put water in your pot, start that brewing for a brew. Have whatever you got for breakfast. While that's doing, you're starting to pack up, and then everything's going back down again into all the bags onto the bike, sorted, ready to start before 8 o'clock every day.
Wow.
I know some days were 9.5 hours from setting off till you got to your destination.
Once again, well done, and thank you very much for everything you've done, mate. Cheers. You say the page is still open?
The page is still open.
Right, okay. So the page is still open, so for another at least 2 weeks, if you want to donate for this amazing man, do you know the details, Vicky? Can you put them on?
A link will go on.
A link will go on the page, so that's brilliant. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you very much.